Hello, I'm Dylan.
I'm Summer.
And this is Really Playing Games, the show where we play games. Really? Summer, how have you been this past week?
Doing great.
Hell yeah. I love it. I love it when...
This week was one of those weeks where it was like, the week was 18 years long and also 5 minutes. And yeah, it was good. It was just like, it was a week.
Mhm.
It was fine. The week was fine. My sleep schedule took a hard hit. Stayed up way too late a couple times this week. It's like 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
Crazy girl energy. Boom. Boom.
I had pretty bad insomnia last night. And I looked at Discord and saw that you were still streaming, and I was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, I was streaming until like nearly 2 last night.
Yeah.
And it was a weekend though.
No,
Dylan.
it was
I'm not
after
allowed
2
to go.
because it was like 5:30 a.m. here.
Well, that's
So-
fine because I'm an adult and I can do what I want, and I'm young. As we were previously discussing,
Yes.
I'm young and I can do whatever I want. And yeah, yesterday was the fact that I streamed yesterday was actually insane because I went to Lauren and Allie's house yesterday
Mhm.
and played our campaign that we're swiftly coming to the end of.
Yes.
We only have 3 sessions left, maybe 3 sessions left. And when you're winding down a campaign, right? I always feel like
Mhm.
as a GM, you're like, how do I make it impactful? And like, how do you make it, you want to make all those final moments like hit hard, and you don't want to give everything away too early, and like you want to keep the tension building and blah blah blah, right? And so the last session that we did, the one before this one, was absolutely like mind-blowing. I was bowing to Allie, like in terms of like the lore that I got in the last session was so good that when we got to this one yesterday, I was like, I don't really know how we go up from that moment. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't really
Yeah.
know how we continue to ascend. And then I got my ass handed to me. I'm sorry to I got my ass handed to me. We're in combat. I'm there, and the rest of the party, so like Lauren's character and NPCs, were elsewhere doing other stuff, time traveling, right? So they're time traveling, and I'm doing my thing, not time traveling.
Okay.
Well, so then I'm about to be imprisoned and or murdered, and they show up. My friends show up. Well, Lauren's character had been captured at the end of the last session, right? And
Mhm.
so, basically, like, Allie was like, I have plans because I want you guys to be able to be together for this stuff. Like at the beginning of the session, she was like, here's where I think we're going to end, and I want you guys to be able to be together. So I have an idea. We'll see how it goes. So we get into it, and then basically Lauren's character, Veronica, gets captured, but then she gets freed by resistance fighters and then is able to meet up with our group, right? So we're all together. We fight this big fight. We do a bunch of combat. And then everybody's hurt, like, because, combat.
Yeah.
And so basically it's me, Veronica, Hercule, and Cliff, like 2 of the NPCs. And Veronica's like, you guys go get looked after. Like, I'll take care of Maxie and Arabelle and whatever. And so me and Lauren are having this like RP moment together, which is the first time that we've seen each other since Maxie like split off from the group very dramatically. And then like Lauren's character, Veronica, goes, so like, how do you actually feel about Arabelle now? Because Arabelle is technically Maxie's cousin, right?
Mhm.
And Maxie goes, well, I don't want her to die. Like I want her to be okay. And then Veronica goes, she'll be fine as long as you can be quiet. And I was like, oh, that's fine. Because like Veronica's a healer. So I was like, lip shut, like, that's fine. I can be quiet. And her and Allie, Veronica, Lauren and Allie are both staring at me and smiling at me. And I'm like, I'm clearly not in on the joke. Like, I'm like, what? It's fucking Strahd. It was not Lauren. Allie and Lauren betrayed me. And it was Strahd in disguise as Veronica.
Incredible.
And he tried to turn me into a vampire and tried to kill me and nearly succeeded.
Sick.
And it was amazing because I did that with Lauren to Allie in our last campaign that we all did together, where Charlie was possessed by a demon.
Yeah.
And kissed Ganymede and like pretended, and that it was actually, you know, and like tried to kill Zeb and everything. And so Allie and Lauren did that to me. And I had no fucking, the way that I was bamboozled, OOC, because Allie was dropping active hints about the fact that it was Strahd, but I just was so like, oh yeah, she's hand waving this so that Lauren can play with us, right? So that she's not left out. Meanwhile, fucking Veronica's actually captured in the castle, crazy stuff. Like, oh my God, so good. I had my ass handed to me. My notes were a disaster, all caps. I've been betrayed above the table. Like, how could they do this to me?
I love that shit.
And it was so good. And it was really also very emotional at the end because Maxie obviously has big feelings about Veronica being captured. And oh my gosh, it's so good. I love that game so much. And I am just like, how do we go from here? I literally, where do we go from here? How do we go from here? I don't know where we go from here. But yeah, so I'm still hype as shit on that.
Hell yeah.
So even though that doesn't really encompass my week and more my yesterday was
I mean,
a great day.
The vital part of your week.
Yeah, that was the peak of my week.
Week peak.
Truly was. My week peak. How about you? How was your week?
I honestly don't know. What
happened?
The fuck happened this week?
Great question. I'd love to know.
Played some games, I think. Actually, on Friday? Yes, on Friday. Yeah, we played some Lethal Company last night, which was great. On Friday, Kian and I and a friend went to these like claw machine arcades. Which was neat. The only time I've ever seen a claw machine is in an arcade that is an arcade with like, you have arcade games, and then there also is a singular claw machine.
Yeah, you got skee ball, you got the hoops, you got
Tekken,
video games. Yeah,
yeah. You got some weird racing game.
Yeah,
and Time Crisis, always Time Crisis.
A Jurassic Park shooter game.
Yes. Shoot the velociraptors. But these were arcades that it was just claw machines. It was just wall-to-wall claw machines.
That's sick.
And I actually won stuff. It was my first time ever successfully getting anything out of a claw machine, which was great. Nailed it on my first try.
Hell yeah.
And then had some other successful attempts later. It was fun. It's basically gambling. It's basically just gambling. But gambling can be fun if you're responsible. And it was neat to actually like give it a go. And there was a certain amount of skill involved in like recognizing what is obtainable and isn't. And then obviously trying to manipulate the claw into the right position. But like those motherfuckers are very specifically designed to not give you the things that are in them. The first place was like very cash vibes. It was like upstairs in this like multi-unit building. And it was just like one room. And it was probably like, I don't know, 15 machines or something, like one person who's just chilling there by themselves all day, I guess, until someone shows up. But like, they were very nice. They were like, let me explain how things work. Gave us like a free try to try it out and see if we liked doing it before we had to like pay for coins and shit. And then like was like, if you want me to rearrange any of the like plushies inside the machine, just let me know and I'll like move them around so you can try and get the one that you specifically want. Very friendly, very chill. And then the second one we went to was like this huge vaulted ceiling place in a mall, and it's like definitely way more money involved. Definitely way less winning involved.
They're trying to make the money they put, you know.
Yeah.
They invested. They're trying to get that shit back.
But it was actually fun. I got, hold on. We got some various plushies. I got the most cursed
Let me see that shit.
Off-brand Psyduck keychain.
Oh, wow.
Look at this boy.
Look at him.
Look at this migraine motherfucker.
I love him.
Yeah, so
Psyduck is so relatable the older you get.
So Psyduck just hangs out next to my desk now. And then we got a cursed off-brand Pikachu. Actually, Kiana got the fucked up Pikachu. There are pictures in my Discord. Kiana tried to get the fucked up Pikachu and grabbed 2 of them in one go, which was incredible. But then both of these arcades have a system where you can like trade in the things that you get for points to get a specific. Kiana's throwing fucked up Pikachu at me. Here's fucked up off-brand Pikachu with his triangle face and his very incorrect tail.
I love his tail.
And his weird wiggly
arrowhead
ears.
tail.
Yeah. Incredible stuff.
I love him. That's just good. That's just good marketing.
So yeah, Kiana grabbed
World?
2 of those. Pal World, is that you? It's not
is that you?
AI generated Pikachu. Grabbed 2 of them in one go.
Huge.
And then so we got to trade in one of them and some other thing that I managed to grab for an actually pretty decent Eevee plush, which I was pretty stoked on. So we got over the course of the day, we got an Eevee, a Kirby, fucked up Pikachu, and fucked up Psyduck.
I love it.
It was great. It was so fun. And I think part of what's fun about it for me, as opposed to like, I don't know, gambling, is with gambling, you're getting money out of it, right? So there's this idea that you do the gambling and then you get, it's almost like an investment, right? Like you can trick yourself into this, I'll get my money back and then make profit and then I can game the system, get gamed by the system. And like maybe I'll hit it big. And so it's this like, it's really easy to end up in a bad headspace with money gambling. But with stuff like, I don't know, loot boxes in video games or gachapon or claw machines, certainly there is still a risk of like weird addictive gambling behaviors. But for me, it's a lot easier to just be like, oh, I'm spending an amount of money to have fun.
Yeah.
And then I might get some prizes out of it in the process, which was nice. But I would say if you are a person with an addictive personality, beware. But yeah, it was neat. I have only ever seen claw machines on their own and been like, that's a thing I'll never succeed at, and just tried to avoid them. But having the specific, because like if you go to an arcade, you just spend money and then you play video games and you get nothing out of it.
Yeah.
So not that different.
Yeah.
So yeah, did that. Lethal Company last night was great. Lethal Company tonight might be fun. We'll see. I'm very excited for later this month. There's a game coming out.
What
on
game?
The 20th called Nightingale that I am so fucking pumped to play. It's coming out in early access. I played in the they did a 1 day long server stress test like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And I played in that and I could not stop playing. It is a survival crafting steampunk, or they call it Gaslamp fantasy,
right?
With Feywild shit.
Gotcha.
And it is so fun. What blew me away is like, so my experiences with survival crafting games, you have Minecraft, which is Minecraft. It's very much its own thing. And then you have like Icarus, we played a bunch of. There's the Conan Exiles, which I've watched a decent amount of. There's Ark.
Yeah.
There's like The Forest. Most of them are, in my opinion, mega jank.
Yeah.
Like they're just so jank. I think Ark is one of the more polished ones. But like most of them, you're just constantly fighting the jank. And Icarus, certainly the one that I played the most of, is a hot mess. That game has been out of early access for like 2 years, and it is still a fucking disaster. Like it's fun. It is a reasonable game at this point.
Yeah.
But you know.
Yeah. It is what it is.
It is what it is. And it's certainly like it chugs. Like it is not an optimized. They do their best to optimize it, but it is not a smoothly running game. And so, you know, I hear early access coming on February 20th, early server stress test, and my expectations are pretty low. I open up the game, it runs great. It just ran great the entire time. There was some jank with the building stuff. There's some UI weirdness that I think they should fix, but like, it just felt good to play. The fighting monsters felt good. Imagine.
Crazy.
Building felt solid once I got used to it. The whole like gameplay loop is really cool, where you generate new realms at portals. You like use tarot cards basically to plan out what the realm you're generating is going to look like, and then you go and you do action RPG stuff in it and survival crafting stuff, and it was cool. And so I'm basically, once it comes out on the 20th, I'm just going to play that forever.
Hell yeah.
Is my plan. I'm going to probably stream a bunch of it on launch day, and then we'll see. Given how obsessed I was with it, just with the like 8 hours I got to play for the stress test, and I played until they shut the servers off and kicked everyone out. I'm probably going to be playing a bunch of that. So yeah, that's what I'm hyped for right now.
Hell yeah. You know what else I'm hyped for?
What?
Kentucky Route Zero.
Yeah, let's go. All right, we're in Act 4 still, and shit is spicy. Things are not going well for Conway.
He's on his way out. I think we've accepted for quite some time.
Act 4, Scene 6. A grove. Oh, yeah.
Oh. I love this. What a stunning game this is.
Right? Commit to a style and you get a good game. Ugh, gorgeous shot.
Huge.
Oh. She lit a second cigarette with the embers of the first one. She trembled, sweating a little under a heavy coat. It was warmer near the doors, but she was following directions. No smoking within 20 feet of hospital entrance. Kate gently rolls a fallen branch and plucks something white from the underside. She holds it up for Ezra to examine. Are we choosing one of these, or are these two
I think so.
Simultaneous conversations?
I don't know.
Let's click this one and see what happens.
Okay.
It's two simultaneous scenes. Okay.
Okay.
So she stood by a hot dog cart parked at the edge of the sidewalk. I think Kate was me.
Yeah, I think so.
Pluricabella porrigens. The common name is angel wings. Isn't that pleasant? They have a delicate springy texture and they're tasty, like sweet moss.
You're going to be both of these characters, so you want me to read the one on the left?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you like a bite? Okay.
I feel like Ezra's very okay.
Ezra takes a small bite and ruminates. What do you think? I think I got a bug. Oh, lucky you. I'm kidding. You can spit it out if you want. My mushroom hunting mentor told me it's useless to pretend to know mushrooms. They escape your erudition. The more you know about them, the less sure you feel about identifying them. She taps the cover of the small red book she's carrying. That's why I always bring my favorite guidebook. Kate points to a small mushroom growing in the dirt. Oh, here's an important one to recognize, though. Look, see that sort of greenish pallor of the cap? Amanita phalloides. Phalloides? That's Greek. Amanita means mushroom, and phalloides means, never mind. One or two.
It smells like honey.
It smells like honey. Yeah, sort of nauseating though, right? Sickly sweet. Death cap. That's the common name. It's killed a lot of people, this little mushroom, including a few Roman empires. It's revolutionary. Even the Buddha died from eating a mushroom when he was very old. It's just what they do. Clear away old things, make room for new things. Pretty important, right? I've always thought they deserved a little more respect. Would you like to help me look for a few more? I have a sort of shopping list. Great. Look for, actually just grab any mushrooms that catch your eye and throw them in this bag. Let me know when you're done and we'll see what you got. Have fun. That's the second rule of mushroom hunting. The first rule is ask Kate before eating anything, okay? Ooh. 1, 2, or 3.
I worry. Kate digs in a bare patch of dirt. It's a bit muddy from flooding or the general dampness of the caves. I think we missed out on that story. I think it's gone.
Which story?
The one on the left.
No, it wouldn't let me progress any further.
It wouldn't let you. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. She finds 2 promising specimens, a spotted brown cap and a dense bundle of dark ridges. The hot dog vendor tried to strike up a conversation with some immediately too personal questions. She decided to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he considered it part of his job, she thought, to offer his customers some kind of counsel. Maybe it was to save his guilty conscience for selling junk food outside the hospital. Brown cap?
Kate inspects the spotted brown cap.
The bottom of the cap is covered in tiny tooth-like protrusions.
I have no idea.
She takes it. You want to switch over to Ezra?
Sure. Check that a plastic bag washed up on the island.
Hell yeah. That's our boy.
The bag is ragged and waterlogged. He nudges it with a stick, coiling up a plastic thread and spreading it out on the beach. He didn't like to play in the house. It was always too cold. It seemed to store up the cold at night, then slowly discharge it into his bones during the day, while the sun bounced feebly off the windows. But he liked to play in the woods behind the house. He'd taken a knife from the kitchen, selected for its long, serrated edge. Meant for slicing bread, its teeth had reminded him of a saw blade. He was determined to collect some firewood to heat the house. There are no mushrooms in the bag.
Rotting stump?
Ezra investigates a rotting stump. The stump is ringed with overlapping shelves of mushrooms striped with brown, blue, gray, white. A caterpillar crawls along one of them. He didn't have any friends nearby. None of their new neighbors seemed to have children his age, so he played alone in the woods. Alone except for the deer.
Back to Kate. Tree roots. She spots a couple of intriguing growths along the roots of the tree, a speckled white ball, and a cluster of softly glowing amber caps. Had she ever tried any alternative medicines? Acupuncture? Chemotherapy? What is this?
Homeopathy.
Aruveda?
Ayurveda.
Ayurveda? What the hell? Magical thinking? She said she'd never heard of any of those things. He fished a stray hot dog out of the pickle jar. Glowing amber caps. The mushrooms are slick, sticky to the touch, like they're covered in smoldering honey. Put them in her bag. I'm taking everything. Kate tries to wipe off some of the mud off her boot.
Didn't find anything.
Find anything?
Didn't find anything? That's okay. Inspects the caterpillar, let's be real.
Yeah.
The caterpillar shuffles listlessly across the mushroom. It seems to be dragging several of its legs. An odd brown-black thread protrudes about 2 inches out of its head. He saw strange lights in the trees, flickering purple. He kept going. Ezra carefully picks up the caterpillar and puts it in his bag.
100%.
Ezra closes his eyes and listens to the water and the distant clicking of bats. He tripped on a protruding root and lay for a while in the mud, examining the pale upper branches of a sycamore tree, listening to the soft rumble of a faraway thunderstorm, then louder, closer, and his hair stood on end. And there was the bird. Here's my hall. Oh. Do you want to keep on left?
Sure. Kate takes the spotted brown cap out of her bag. Okay, this one's called Bitter Hedgehog, and it's on my list. It's great for nausea, which is basically the #1 complaint of the pregnant woman I treat. It tastes kind of like black pepper. It's okay. I let it dry out so it's really tough, and then they just chew on it like it's bubble gum. Kate takes the bundle of amber caps from her bag. These ones are really cool. See how they kind of glow a little? It's not enough to find your way in the dark or anything, but still pretty amazing. Anyway, I make a tea out of them. Pretty good for headaches. Kate puts some mushrooms back into her bag. So, the brother one, I think.
You have a brother out there somewhere? Julian. He's going to come find me in the morning, after the work is done. Yep, we work pretty hard. We used to spend part of each night looking for my folks. But now we pretty much just work. But maybe that'll change now. I have some new friends. Do you have a family?
I almost had a baby once. Let's just go in. Let's go all in on it. I got very sick, and the only thing that helped me was a funny-looking mushroom called collared earth star. I've basically been on my own since then. Well, that's not really true. Just about everyone who sets foot aboard the Mucky Mammoth feels like family to me now. I guess if nobody's family, then everybody's family.
These are the only trees in this whole cave. Who planted them here? Sign for this one?
Yeah.
It's the only trees in this whole cave. Who planted them here? Right. Not many trees down here in the dark. I know these are some kind of cypress, and they were definitely planted here deliberately by someone who... I guess I don't know much about this place, really. It's supposed to be some kind of memorial to something. Will would know more. Sorry. It's a mystery. Ezra kicks the dirt.
Months later, she came across a book on hemopathic medicine in a used bookstore and bought it. She thought it was mostly bullshit, but found the author's notes on the unpredictability of mushrooms immediately compelling, spiritual even. She started collecting mushrooms on hikes, never eating them, just collecting, identifying and discarding. Eventually, she connected with the Lexington Mycological Society and began to study in earnest the medicinal use of fungi.
It's a mystery. I'll search for clues.
She put out her cigarette, said goodbye to the hot dog vendor, and spent the rest of the afternoon listening to doctors and trying to understand the world as they did, as a list of discrete injuries to be mended.
Same as a large stone
Cypress
monument?
tree? Oh. I kind of want to know about the trees, since someone planted them here, right? I guess the monument's good too, though.
Yeah, I think the monument might tell us why this place is here.
Yeah.
Or it might not. It's Kentucky Route Zero. The monument is covered with lichen and painted text.
Reads the text for fucking once. Give us something, kid.
Ezra reads the text. X plus O forever.
Aw. Looks like a 0, actually.
Kinda, yeah. Ezra investigates a cypress tree.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, boat. The tree smells spicy, oily.
Branches?
Ezra looks up into the branches. Some of the branches have been trimmed recently. Ezra inspects the contents of his pockets. Hello, boat of cats. Extremely loud cats.
All right, what have you got? That stone face monument has... Sorry, you're drinking.
Sorry, yeah. I was mid-swig.
Oh, okay. X plus O forever painted on it. Interesting. What do you think that means? Hug and kisses forever? Or they could be initials. Xavier and Olivia forever. Darius and Oliver.
Xerxes and Oliver.
Xerxes, sorry.
What do you think that monument is for?
I'm not sure anyone remembers.
The branches on the tree are trimmed.
Oh, good observation. So I guess somebody's still taking care of this place. Or just practicing their tree trimming somewhere out of the way. Well, Ezra, I can't say I know what that all adds up to. Like I said, I wish Will were here. He'd have some local history for us. We can ask him back on the boat.
Kate and Ezra look up at an old battleship drifting by. Same on both sides.
That was the first time they popped up at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. The Iron Pariah. Don't worry, it's just passing by. What do you think of it?
Is it full of ghosts?
Full of cats. Oh, I don't know. Probably. I mean, no, definitely not. You don't believe in ghosts, do you?
No.
I've never met a young kid who really believed in ghosts. Lots of older people do, though. I wonder why that is. I like this supposedly nobody's even aboard. No people, I mean. I mean, there must be something on there. Life is everywhere. Rats, insects, some kind of hardy mold.
A million cats?
A million cats that you guys just didn't acknowledge at all. Part of it could be flooded and host some of the eyeless fish that live in the Echo. Hey, maybe there's some mushrooms growing in there, slowly consuming military rations from over 100 years ago. Someone told me she got close to it by accident and heard a strange wailing sound. She was a passenger on the Mammoth. She said she'd been out fishing on a rowboat and got swept up by a current near the cluttered place. Before she knew it, the Iron Pariah was upon her, unimaginably massive, up close but eerily silent. The only sound, she said, were the lapping of the lake water against its iron hull and a faint sort of, well, she said, chorus of mews. I'll be damned if I know what that sounds like. I've never gotten close enough to the ship myself.
We know what that sounds like.
Yes, we do. More mysteries. They do pile up over time as we forget the details.
Thanks for taking me mushroom picking.
Mushroom hunting. You can pick apples because they're right out there in the open. Mushrooms hide. You have to hunt for them. That's cute.
Ezra's parents shook him awake. They seemed alarmed, but not immediately concerned. They led him back to the house, past the house, into the car. Dad said they were going to stay at the bus station for a while, the one with the little arcade, with the car game he liked. Dad watched him closely in the rearview mirror, expecting Ezra to be excited, or confused, or scared, but he didn't feel anything. He hardly seemed to hear. In fact, he felt like he was observing the family car from a distance, from far above, from the clouds.
Did he die?
Oof. Time to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Do we think he died in the woods? Hypothermia or something?
I don't think so. I think he went off with Julian, like his mind left.
Yeah, because it didn't seem like he had a sibling in those memories.
Yeah.
He said he was alone.
But he saw a bird as he fell.
Yeah.
See that rough circle of rocky protrusions near the shore? It's more intricate than it looks. More than 2/3 of it is actually underwater. I haven't seen it myself, but listen to this. It's man-made, and the rocks weren't placed according to their size, so what's visible is more or less a uniformly random selection of the overall shape. Looks like it might be a spiral, all told, or maybe some kind of meditative labyrinth. At the head of it is a petrified oak stump. That was moved here from above ground, of course, decades ago. That's where the ceremony took place. The Locks were married there. Many frail-tongued observers said they should just go with lock or luck, or split the difference with look or even lick, or really anything else, but it was never going to happen. Marge Luck and Errol Locke met in prison. Greta Luck and Norm Locke were high school
prison
sweethearts.
sweethearts.
Marge Luck and Errol Locke met in prison. She was a volunteer teaching conflict mediation skills to guards, and he was employed at the side gate accepting deliveries and greeting visitors. Neither of them once saw a prisoner.
Boo!
Boo.
I wanted them to be prisoners, not cops.
Hey, cab. Their engagement was welcome news for the family business, who had been looking for some opportunity to merge interests. The Locks ran a busy printing press, and the Locks managed a fleet of bicycle carriers. These were the Locks of Lock Large Animal Storage and the Lucks of the Luck Family Nut Company.
Bicycles,
Company.
bicycles.
The natural next step was to start a local paper, what would become the Echo River Evening Record. The ceremony itself was humble and perfunctory, and it must have somehow involved these rocks. Maybe they walked around them in a spiral like a symbol of their ever-tightening bond. Probably the rocks marked the boundaries between the two families. Lux on the inner loop and Lux on the outer, or the other way around.
Yeah, I like the spiral one better.
Yeah. I think this is an actual ritual thing. Trying to remember. And it must have also involved that petrified stump. Neither family is particularly religious, but rumors persist that the officiant wore a robe. Shannon helped me fix a mushroom stew in the kitchen. Shannon and her friend set out in the dinghy to deliver a package at the telephone exchange.
Let's go.
All right, Conway. Let's make this happen. Act 4, Scene 7. Echo River Central Exchange. Thanks again for your help. It's about as far as the tugboat can go. You know, noise and lights disturb the bats. I usually send Will, but I thought you'd like the chance to meet Dashiell. He's the guy who worked at the TV station, WEVP. So you'll pass through the Bat Sanctuary, which is really nice, by the way. Be sure to check out all the plaques and stuff for cool bat facts. Plenty of time. Anyway, the Echo River Central Exchange, or Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30. They changed the name when the power company took over. Anyway, it's just on the other side of the Bat Sanctuary. This package is going to Poppy. She's the operator. We'll meet you on the other side at Sam and Ida's for our scheduled early breakfast stop. Just follow the river, can't miss it. Oh, I almost forgot. You may or may not be interested. There's this kind of weird memorial sculpture on your way in, just before the Bat Sanctuary. I always recommend people at least stop and take a look at it. It's really, sort of... I don't know how to say it. You should check it out. Okay, bye. Bye.
Bye.
Oh. We're going.
Oh.
Neat.
Wow.
Is this the monument? Sign, we claim these helmets in the names of the folks who wore them, and we place them here in their memory, but also as a spit in the greedy green eye of that power company who bought up our old mine and traded our brothers and sisters' safety for a little more yield, but only yielded 28 good men and women dead when the walls collapsed and the tunnels filled with water.
Yo, crazy.
Their lungs were black, but now they're washed clean and full of water too, and swept through hidden tunnels into some awful cave we never will find. And so we guess the water buried them for us, so let this here be the marker for their grave. And if any son of a bitch from that power company wants to take back these helmets as company property, just you try it and see what will happen. Hey, Elkhorn, that's the mine we went in. Where your folks, where your folks worked. Looks like it's been here a while. Sure as hell wouldn't mess with it. Think whoever wrote it is still that angry?
I don't think you'll ever forget anger like that.
No, guess you probably don't. This probably stirs up... how do you...
I think it brings back some anger for me too.
Yeah, that's understandable. I guess that's what a memorial should do, huh? Help you hang on to your feelings. Otherwise they fade away. It's just what time does. Oh, dark. Fucking oof. Man, fuck the power company. Oh. Speaking of which...
Damn.
Ugh. What, you're looking at me like I'm crazy?
Are you feeling okay?
Oh, sure. It doesn't hurt anymore. My leg, it's just kind of numb. Like it's not there. My shoulder too, actually. That's an old one though, from an accident. I'm lucky I just had some nerve damage there. Probably should have been a lot worse. You know, those guys from the distillery are just making the best of a bad situation. Just like the rest of us. Hey, one of them said to me earlier they could even help me take care of these medical bills for my leg, you know? Get it all together on a plan, consolidated.
Down? Can you scroll down a little bit?
Yep.
Hey, if we can find her, maybe Weaver could get you out of this thing with the distillery. She has some experience with them.
Oh. Sure. Could be.
Ugh, I hate this.
Anyway, I have a feeling it'll all work out.
Even for me?
Hey, why not? It seems like we're getting pretty close to finding your cousin, right? And besides that, you're young and smart. Plenty of time to bounce back from whatever. Listen, that old truck I've been driving belonged to my boss, Ira, Lisette's husband. To be honest, Ira didn't like me very much, but somehow Liz got it into her mind that he would have wanted me to have that truck someday. Maybe to make up for all the yelling he did, or maybe so his ghost could hold it over me. Just one more thing to feel like I owed him for. Anyway, they got their own trucks at the distillery, and now that the antique shop is closing up, I've got no use for that old truck. I was thinking you could take it.
I don't know. What do you think?
I think the third.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. I could keep an eye on it for you until you get it straightened out.
Sure. Okay. Sounds good. Ugh. Evil power company.
Yeah.
switching this off for bats. Here we go. Visitors to the Echo River long-eared silver tomb bat artificial hibernaculum and sanctuary are asked to take extra precautions in order to prevent the introduction of foreign fungal contaminants and the spread of white nose syndrome. Please do not visit the sanctuary during the same day in which you visited any cave known or suspected to host bats infected with white nose syndrome. Please do not leave your vehicle. If you must leave your vehicle, please remove shoes, clothes, jewelry, headwear, and eyeglasses to ensure you do not bring any foreign spores ashore with you. Please do not touch any bats or structures. The long-eared silver tomb bat is confused by light. If you are using a lantern or other artificial light source, be aware that it may attract and confuse the bats. If you are approached by bats, do not panic. Relax, stop your vehicle, and switch off your light. Never touch a bat.
Okay, so lights on until you see a bat.
Okay.
And stop the vehicle when you do.
I don't know if I can.
Maybe turning off the vehicle stops the bat? Or turning off the light stops the vehicle?
Maybe.
Right?
Bats, 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 bats. I love bats.
I do too. I have a bat tattoo. My little wolfy baby.
Hell yeah. Bat fact. Ever talk with your mouth full? Bats do it all the time. Bats talk in extremely high-frequency clicks, too high for humans to hear. Then they use their powerful ears to scan for the echoes of those ultrasonic clicks. By comparing very subtle differences in the time these echoes take to come back, differences of just millionths of a second, bats are able to picture their environment with enough accuracy to catch a flying insect. Once a bat has caught an insect in its mouth, it's still flying, and so it still needs to avoid running into anything. So bats keep clicking away, even while they munch on a tasty bug snack. It may be poor table manners, but it's crucial for surviving in the dark. Wonder how the other bats know whether one of them is really talking or just chasing a bug.
I think when they're actually communicating, it sounds more like singing.
I'd like to hear that. One of my favorite things when I used to go camping was in the early evening, you know, you get a campfire going and you just look up at the sky and see the bats shooting overhead. So good. Yeah. Damn, it's really dark down here. Are you still there?
I think she touches your shoulder.
Shannon touches Conway's shoulder. Oh, there you are. I hope that's you. I was just thinking about my ma. Guess because we were talking about your folks a minute ago. To be honest with you, I don't think about her that often. Your cousin brought her up earlier, and she's just been on my mind. It's good your folks have a memorial. A lot of people, nobody remembers them when they're gone.
I mean, I feel like Chan's been pretty honest. Like, even, like, a little bit insensitive at times. You mean like you?
Yeah, I guess so. Not that kind of guy you build a memorial for. Conway. Buddy. Yeah. Ooh, umbrella. Bat fact. The long-eared silver tomb bat's natural diet mostly consists of moths and other small insects that breed along the river. Here at the artificial hibernaculum and sanctuary, we use a combination of chemical snares and ultrasonic wards to repel all potentially contaminant-bearing insects and replace them with our own locally bred and spawned hypoallergenic antiseptic pseudomoths, which we call the little gray nothing moth. You may be thinking that the other moths and insects the long-eared silver tomb bat would have been eating are very much relieved that their natural predator has found another food source. Not so! We've installed netting and highly effective moth traps along the river where the long-eared silver tomb bat normally hunts to balance their escape from the food chain. But eating moths isn't the only systemic contribution these bats make. They also produce a potent fertilizer in the form of guano that helps plant life thrive along the Echo River, the shore of Lake Lethe. In order to minimize the sanctuary's impact on subterranean agriculture, we collect that precious guano here at the hibernaculum and manually distribute it throughout the caves. It's a full-time job. Sounds like a lot of work.
I wonder how the bats would feel about their guano being taken like that.
Maybe it's better that they don't know. Like bat plumbing. I mean, I never think about where it goes, do you?
I don't know.
Think one?
Yeah. Right. It is reassuring to know someone's taking care of everything for these little bats.
Yeah. Who's gonna build the people hibernaculum? I mean, we'll build it ourselves. Maybe we already did. Like, the folks in the mine, you said they used to buy stuff, fans, canaries, all those little trinkets, to make it bearable. There's still a lot of stuff down there. Feels cluttered, but human. I just mean, all people need is enough to pretend we're home and we can make it anywhere.
You get kind of philosophical when you're drinking. Did anyone ever tell you that?
Yeah. I guess I do. No, this is nothing. I used to have this drinking buddy who would get loaded and tell the weirdest damn riddles, like, which is more musical, a truck passing by a factory or a truck passing by a music school? Count your blessings. Whoa, look at those trees.
Yeah.
Whip. Better hang on a minute. Feels like there's one kind of hovering right over me. Don't really hover though, do they? I mean, how could they? I guess a lightning bug will hover by beating its wings really fast. Maybe they can do that too. I used to watch lightning bugs in the evening, out at the edge of the woods. That's kid Charlie, he loved them, you know. He ended up going to college and studying astronomy, and I like to think he got his love for stars from those nights watching bugs. Anyway, me and Charlie, sometimes we try to see one of them up close. You lay in the grass and you have to be totally still for a while. Like one of those wax sculptures, don't even breathe like this. Oh, you can't see me. I was doing the watching lightning bugs in the grass face.
Feels like we're talking on the phone or something.
Hey, who were you talking to earlier? When we met in the mine, you were on the phone with someone. Forgot about that.
My ex.
Gay.
Gay. Alejandra. She has kids now, so we don't talk as much. She called me to chat about something. I think I was kind of rude, actually. In a hurry to get into the mines. Feel bad. It gets harder and harder to reconnect.
Yeah, I know that's true. Ugh. Video game. Ouch. Why?
What do you mean, why? It's been doing this shit this whole
I
fucking
know.
time.
My
Why,
heart.
Kentucky Route Zero, do you keep hurting me this way?
Why do you keep hurting me in exactly the way I expect you to, and that you have before?
And that you keep doing it. Stop. Please. Just one tiny break. One happy story.
Nope.
All these stories are sad as fuck.
Kentucky Route Zero happiness.
Fat fact.
White nose syndrome is still largely a mystery. We suspect the white fungal growth which appears on bats' faces and wings irritates and confuses them, causing them to awaken early from hibernation and venture outside, depleting stored energy they need to survive through winter. But biologists are nowhere near curing the disease. It spreads quickly, and it is highly fatal. In this way, white nose syndrome has drawn some comparisons to colony collapse disorder, as suffered by bees. White nose syndrome and colony collapse disorder are sudden, violent, and mysterious. Will honeybees and the long-eared silver-tomb bat be two more lost species, wiped out in a geological blink and forgotten to natural history? It's possible that a cure won't be identified in time, so the sanctity of this artificial hibernaculum is our best hope of preserving them. As you leave the Akra River long-eared silver-tomb bat hibernaculum and sanctuary, please make sure your vehicle and clothing are free of hitchhikers. Lisette's sick. I mean, she's old. We're both old. Hell, you're about the youngest person I know right now. Oh, and the kid. Maybe blue by a people calendar. In dog years, though, I bet she has us all beat. So I'm old too, sure, and I forget stuff all the time, especially if I had a few and my brain is swimming. But I mean, Liz, it's all going away. She's losing words you'd never think you'd lose. Not just like the streets you grew up on, but the names of colors and types of furniture, or, I mean, even the word furniture. She'd say, we still got a few nice pieces in the, what's that I call the shed? Where we put the bigger pieces, the beds and couches, and I'd say, oh, Liz, why do you keep teasing me about that time I fell asleep in the furniture shed when it's so damn comfortable in there? Tried to help her keep some dignity, you know. That's all I had to offer at the end. She has a sister in Nashville who'll take good care of her, and now that I'm not around the shop all the time, what was that old guy's name? Used to make deliveries for the shop. Smells like leather. Ira was always yelling at him. Too drunk to work on the one day you could have been in the right place at the right time. Jesus Christ.
You feel pretty badly about that accident. Do you think she blames you?
No, but it's awful to say, but sometimes I kind of wish she would. That way at least you could eventually forgive me. You know what I mean, right?
I know exactly what you mean.
Okay, I think the bats are clearing out.
What a fucking bummer.
Yeah. Getting old sucks. I think looking at Conway, it's a really good example of how much easier it is to look back on your life. I mean, presumably more so when you're old, and focus on the things you got wrong.
Yeah.
And let that just eat at you.
Mm-hmm.
Therapy, Conway. It's good for you. It's good for the soul. Bye-bye, bats. God, bats are so good.
Bats are so cool.
Ooh.
Is that our kid?
No, Flora. I think Conway first.
Mm-hmm.
Careful up there. Can't drive your new truck if you slip and break your legs.
You too. Try not to make any more bad deals while I'm gone.
Oof. I'll just be floating along down here. I just mean, keep your eyes open and don't look back.
What does that mean?
Have we met Flora before? Was she in the museum?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, hi.
She was on the first house.
Yeah.
At the first house, yeah.
I remember you.
Do you know where the telephone exchange operator is?
I don't know what that means. I'm just exploring. I like dark underground places. I'm a romantic.
I think I'm more classical myself.
Sounds like the same thing to me. Okay, bye. These kids, man.
I know.
Oh, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Could be bypassed with another capacitor at 100 nanofarads to reduce the noise.
If your circuit's too noisy, you should tie those floating pins to the ground. Or to ground.
Huh. That's a pretty good idea. They're probably picking up all kinds of radio interference. Dashiell Morse, pleased to meet you. We don't install this type of phone for customers anymore, but there are quite a few of them still in circulation. Anyway, that new system doesn't source enough current to ring these old bells, so I'm trying to come up with a workaround. Maybe a little box the customer could attach right before the wall jack.
So you do still work here. On the tugboat, they weren't totally sure.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm here about every night. Is this your first time down here? Yeah, I can tell your eyes don't quite adjust to the light. It takes some practice. Believe it or not, I've been coming here since I was a kid, for one reason or the next. Back then, this place was a train station. It's true, they had bats then too, but they were considered a nuisance.
What did you come here for as a kid?
Oh, I usually came down here with my grandmother. We took the train out to the town she lived in, or in the other direction back to my parents' home. In my memories, it was always cold. Winter, I guess. Sometimes now I walk along the tunnel, run my hand along these wet stone walls and close my eyes, ringing footsteps and the drip, drip, drip of the grimy stalactites. Well, the river shifted and this place slowly filled with water, carrying the trains away with the current. It does that, the river, and I don't begrudge it. It's a good reminder that everything we have is borrowed, even trains. Eventually, someone at the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces heard this place was still empty, so they moved the phone company in here. I returned here as a young lineman, a skill I picked up in wartime, running telephone wires behind enemy lines. We used trees instead of poles. I miss that, actually. They were easier to climb. It's just as well I'm in no shape to be climbing anything these days. Closest I get is patching up the wiring in the crystal room for the WEVP folks.
Did you ever know a girl named Weaver?
Sure. Weaver Marquez. That's funny, I was just thinking about her. Yeah, I met her a couple times at the TV station. I suppose I didn't know her too well. She handled the archives and I was helping with wiring and stuff. She really seemed to know her way around all that gear, though. She had a head for signals, I think. No idea where she ended up. I would guess she's probably not too popular around the station anymore, but I always liked her. Listen, miss, if you're interested in WEVP, you should go talk to them directly. They're always looking for volunteers. Take the ferry over to the silo. There's a mail stop there. They don't have a sign or anything, just ask around. I guess I'll get back to this damn old ringer. Poppy's just a little further down if you're dropping off that package. Nice chatting with you.
All right.
I have concerns.
You could probably walk down.
Boop. Black. Abel and Eloise, the lovers' couriers. Bred for racing, Abel and Eloise spent most of their lives as carrier pigeons in the employ of the Echo River Avian Post. They retired here after Abel was disfigured in an accident with a light aircraft, but old habits were hard to die. Abel and Eloise would pick up scraps of paper from the ground, the trash, even pull them out of pockets, and deliver them to other people nearby, to delight or embarrassment. Word spread, and travelers passing through this tunnel began to come prepared with love letters, poems, and other written desires to pass along indirectly through these pigeons. After a hard day's work, Abel and Eloise would always be found nestled closely together in a disused newspaper stand set aside for their habitation, and that's where we left them. I really like that, actually.
Mm.
Oh, hi, Bobby. Just set it right over there by the lamp, sweetie. Thanks. Actually, just a minute. Who does that parcel claim to be from?
Consolidated Power Co.
No.
Yes.
Why would you do this to her?
I have to.
Oh dear. I'm afraid to open it. So who are you? Do you work for the post office or the tugboat? I only ask because I haven't seen you before. Was that you I heard chatting down the hall?
Yeah, I just met Dashiell.
He's been working on that obsolete ringer, hasn't he? Poor Dashiell. You know, he's not really... He was let go a while back. A long while, actually, when they started restructuring. He was one of the first to go, but he talked them into letting him come every day and fiddle with some interminable project. He says it's to keep a long gap from growing his resume, but I think he just has nothing better to do. One of those old men who needs to work, you know? Doesn't know how to be any other way. Well, there are no real jobs here, but there are fake jobs, I guess. It wasn't always like this. When I came to work at the Echo River Central Exchange, there were 12 of us. Loretta, Edna, Meg, Kara, Marie, Lois, Liz, Hester, Angie, Wilma, Connie. I was number 12. Connie and I were hired on the same day, but she showed up early. Marie finished college, and Hester was fired for snapping at a rude caller, but he had it coming, and I swear she did just fine on her own. So they hired Beryl, Yana, and Sachiko, which brought us up to 13, and that was as many operators as we ever had here at one time. The power company came along, buying up all the lines, and one day they took the exchange as a throw-in, like it was nothing, and they started phasing us out. Edna, Meg, and Kara, and Lois left one Friday evening and were asked not to come back on Monday morning. Beryl saw the writing on the wall and quickly found employment at a private PBX. They had Yana and Liz stop routing calls and write up some kind of best practices document instead. It was their final task as exchange employees. Some of the girls were reassigned to other divisions. Connie, I think, was checking residential meters. Sachiko and Wilma were moved into energy sales, cold calling businesses to see if they needed to upgrade their electricity plan. At least they were still on the phone. Then it was just Loretta, Angie, and me. We were swamped. The hours were hell and hard on the throat. The voice with a smile became a croak. I was gargling warm salt water in the break room, sipping from a thermos full of hot honey broth stashed under my chair. Oh, I brought a lot of extended technique to the switchboard in those days. Sounded pretty good to me.
He's got the voltage too high. He'll burn out the relay.
So, where was I?
Extended switchboard technique.
It was all about timing your breath. Some girls got lightheaded doing too many calls in a row, with that upbeat dynamic inflection they made us use to keep everything intelligible. It was very physical. So after a few months, it was just me. A new automation strategy was announced, and this place was rechristened Consolidated Auxiliary Switch Number 30.
If it's automated, what do you do here?
It's not fully automated. There's still gaps in functionality that need a human touch. And you know, it really is all about touch here. Sound is a vibration, a touch you feel in your ear. So my voice is my touch. When we're talking, we're touching, even on the phone. That's an electric touch, an intimate little shock that makes your tiny hairs tremble. But that's not even what I mean when I say it's all about touch here. When the power company first tried automating this old exchange with fancy new transistor arrays, the switchboard caught fire. It was just too much, too fast. So they tried using some clunky old mechanical relays, but then the calls were getting mismatched and out of sync. It was a nightmare. Their technicians determined that the phone system down here had been designed ad hoc over decades around the specific tempo of its human operators, so short of replacing the whole thing, not to mention all the wiring, they'd have to work out the exact timing of every little human gesture that goes into routing a phone call. And that, officially, is my role here. I run the switchboard for the whole exchange, once the work of 12. I'd like to remind you, they have some kind of machine somewhere that tracks how long it takes me to do each little thing. The caller never hears my voice now. They dial, my little indicator lights switch on, and I make the connection.
Do you miss talking to callers?
You know, There's something that bothers me about the process, besides the fact that I'm training my replacement, who isn't even human. Here's what I mean. How long do you think it should take to time my every move and recreate that timing in an automated switchboard? Rough estimate.
At least a month.
That's what I said. But this has been going on for over a year, and a very dark thought has started to nag at me. What if there is no cheap machine that's going to replace me? What if it's cheaper just to keep me here, filling in for the rhythm of the operators? What if I'm the cheap machine? Fucking oof, Poppy.
Why don't you just quit?
In this economy? No, you're probably right. Working in silence for peanut shells, waiting to be replaced by a robot. It doesn't sound very dignified, does it? The reality is that I've been working here for my whole adult life. I came here as a girl, and I'll leave as a middle-aged woman. I don't know if I'm ready to be her yet. I sound like Dashiell. Oh, the parcel. Right over there by the lamp is fine. Thanks for dropping that off. Take care. Think of me when you dial 0. Oh, shit.
Blast him.
I pressed the button.
Yeah.
The turnaround button, I think. And fuck.
Conway.
Blue. It's at the end of Act 4. Somehow no? She returned on the dinghy alone. She had a strong and sudden urge to shut the motor off and let the current take her, but she couldn't work out where that impulse came from, so she did her best to resist it.
She made a painter of shipwrecks.
He never worked from photographs, so his paintings could be divided into 2 categories. There were the ones he painted from life, and the Echo River was a very good source of those because its currents were unpredictable and the tunnels so dark. He rendered these in oil paint by lamplight, working for hours cross-legged on the porch of his houseboat/studio. Then there were the ones he painted from memory, mostly the memory of a single wreck he encountered as a much younger man, picking up litter where the coastal highway cleaves to the rocky beaches in Northern California. These were done in watercolor. He preferred to work on them in the morning, in a room he rented near the airport in Louisville. He had some postcard-sized sketches in charcoal, too, of the Iron Pariah. It wasn't a wreck, exactly, but it felt right. He tried to scribble one down every time he encountered it, though it was so unpredictable, and he was so focused on details, he usually just ended up with a handful of inscrutable marks.
She met a flower salesman on a raft.
They floated alongside in buoyant pots, bobbing untethered. He corralled them with a long pole and a stream of small adjustments.
She leaned over the water to get a closer look.
He just started work for the day, so his stock was full. He pushed a few bouquets her way. First was an elaborate bundle of pomegranates arranged in the Roman style. He said it was for the particular kind of person, for a particular kind of person. If it didn't remind her of anyone in specific, she'd better move on. The amount of Greek mythology imagery in all of this. Specifically death and underworld imagery.
Yeah.
Next, a delicate mixture of dandelions. He was feeling distracted when he first designed it, but some customers found it hopeful. Finally, an elaborate mixture of snapdragons, made to look domestic. He suggested it would make an appropriate apology bouquet. He drifted away with the current, pushing its flowers along with the raft.
You choose.
She met a family of 5 on a flat-bottomed skiff. The boat was loaded to capacity with black plastic bags and a few larger pieces of furniture wrapped in a blue tarp. 3 paddled, the 2 adults and the older child. The 2 younger children slept. They'd been traveling all night, first by car and then for the last few hours by boat. Hungry and tired, they didn't plan to stop until they reached West Virginia, where a relative had offered to take them in. But the adults were happy to take a break from paddling in weary silence. They asked her about her river journey.
She said she was on the way to Sam and Ida's.
They brought some food. The kids had picked the garden clean earlier in the day, so they'd been snacking on fresh bell peppers and tomatoes, and some crackers, rationed carefully for the trip. They wished her well and paddled on towards West Virginia. She gave in, shut off the motor, and floated for a while. Then she knew what she'd been craving. A moment of silence. The long-ass moment of silence. Oh, this game.
So good.
Act 4, Scene 8. Sam and Ida's. Ugh. I see Kate and Will and get the third person's name. Just in time. We've already finished eating, but we're about to place a to-go order for Clara. She's back on board, getting ready for her show. Take a look at the menu. I'm sure there's something you'll like. Ida's a bit of a local celebrity. For her cooking, I mean.
Hey, Ezra was just asking about you. He's around the corner playing a video game. Maybe go let him know you two are back, or where's the old man anyway?
Johnny and Ezra. Best buds. Ah, bad luck. You'll get it next time. Hey, got a quarter? He's almost got this. It's true.
Sure, I have 1 quarter.
Thank you. So, where's...
He left.
Oh, okay. I have to say, I didn't know him very well, but he seemed like the kind of guy who was always on his way to somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm gonna go sit down.
Cool. The food is good here. I think everyone else is finishing up, but you could probably get something to go. All right, Claw Maestro, let's give it another shot. So let's see what's on the top of the pile. There's stuffed octopus, a plastic bag full of clamshells, a cowboy hat, and some big headphones. That octopus has a leg wrapped around the boombox underneath it. The shells are pretty clear, but I don't know if the claw can really grip the bag that well. The cowboy hat is in the corner, so it's not. It's kind of tricky to tell if it's wedged in or not. Those headphones might be a good bet, but I can't see the cord. Could be wrapped around something. What are you gonna go for?
I think let's go for the headphones.
I'll try to get the headphones. Good call. I think that's a best bet. Okay, when I put this quarter in, you'll have about 8 seconds to grab your prize. The headphones are on the right, pretty close to the middle. Let me know if you need help lining it up. I've got a slightly different view of the field from up here. Ready? Here we go. Johnny inserts the coin, and the machine awakens. 8. The claw hovers in the front left corner of the machine.
Right.
Push the joystick right. 7. The claw hovers halfway across the front of the machine.
You said to the right and middle.
It's going to be more right. Hovers in the center.
More to the right, I think.
Right again. 5.
And then does this look right, I think?
Does this look right? Yeah, looks good to me. Go for it. 4. Ezra pushes the button to drop the claw. The claw drops. It grabs the headphones. The claw's grasp seems unusually weak on this round, and the headphones tumble back out before they can be retrieved. Ah, you were robbed! I guess the house always wins except on Tuesdays. A friend of ours always said that. I never really knew what he meant. Oh well. Hey, listen. It sounds like that old man you were following around, I guess he had to leave.
Is he coming back?
Well, probably not. He's got himself on a trajectory, you know. Anyway, I don't know what kind of plans you have now, but if you need help figuring out your next move, you can always talk to me and Miss Junebug. I just wanted to make sure you know that.
I'll meet up with Julian when we get back above ground and go back to the museum.
Oh, yeah. He's your brother, you said, right? Maybe we still have time to poke around this place a little. They have some pretty wild stuff in here.
It's like he should go with them, but I can't imagine him just being like, I'll go with you and leaving his brother, you know what I mean?
His brother.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see this? They keep a table full of fake food over here. I've never known why. Actually, I think it might be a real food coated with shellac or something. Preserved. Oh, and look, this tentacle-looking thing is half eaten. This is someone's meal. Is this someone's meal they didn't finish?
I dare you to take a bite.
You first.
Okay.
Okay. Whoa, hold on. I'm just kidding. If Sam and Ida preserved this half-eaten meal, it must have been pretty important to them, right? Maybe it belonged to someone they care about, like a beloved uncle had a mid-meal stroke, so they kept it in his memory. Oh.
My folks left behind a bag of sunflower seeds, but I threw it away. I should have kept it, right?
Oh, no, I didn't mean that, kid. You don't need to hang on to every little memento. I'm sure you still remember them just fine. Are you worried about them?
No, they're gone. There's nothing to worry about. I just miss them.
Okay, well, I don't know what the deal is with this table, but sometimes people do weird stuff because they miss someone. Weird, somehow I thought it was his truck and delivery and all.
It was. That's what she's saying. He just left it behind.
But you're gonna deliver it anyway? Why?
Somebody's waiting for those antiques.
Have you got a name or just an address? Maybe it doesn't matter. Even having discharged all that whatever it is onto the lawn, I'm sure you'd still have fulfilled your friend's obligation.
Johnny and I will help you unload when we get there. Lift with your legs, Cricket.
Yes, ma'am. You want to take Ida?
Sure. So how was everything? How was the sweet cave snail? Devastating. You're a killer, Ida. Well, I can't take all the credit. Sam came across the whole cave snail colony down there about a year back. We've been leaving rock candy for him to gorge on since. We just started harvesting earlier this month. Yes, it's all about patience down here. Everything grows more slowly in the dark. There's a fish in the lake leaf that lives on 200 years, and its flavor profile only develops at about 75. Oh my God. Waiting 75 years for a fish to... I've got a pot of bones in there that's been stewing for at least a week. I don't even remember why I put them on. Come to think of it, I don't even remember what kind of bones they are.
Incredible. We need one for the road. Clara said she wanted something primordial, she said. What does that mean? Kate reviews the menu.
I think she meant something from very deep in the lake.
Could be. Hands Shannon the menu. Here, you pick. I'm no good at this. Shannon inspects the menu.
Salamander log, sweet water cuttlefish spread, balsamic spinach. Turn the page.
Crab and tomato cakes with Kentucky
the aged
remoulade.
Blind cavefish and small salad. Let's go. Good choice. Your friend will love it. I'll have that right out, sweetie.
Ezra leans over the table and carefully examines the preserved food and drink.
He gently compresses a pea-sized eyeball on a plate.
The eye is hard, like glass.
Oh, you like candied fish eye? Most kids are repulsed just looking at them, which is a shame because they're really delicious. I have a bowl of them in the kitchen. I'll bring some out. Sorry I startled you, sweetie.
Whose food is this?
Yeah. This is the diver's table. This was the diver's meal. This food is about 15 years old. It's true. Things were different then. Nobody came to eat here. We were fighting just to keep the lights on. Sam, my husband, Sam, was depressed. He couldn't catch anything. That was part of the problem. Most of what we served was shipped in, frozen or dried, and I just threw it in the fryer. We've both come a long way since then. Well, 2 young men came in for dinner. Seasoned divers, they said. Over 10,000 hours between them in Lake Leith alone. They'd been out all day, salvaging parts from a riverboat wreck, and had worked up a fierce hunger, they said. They ordered the whole menu without even looking. It was a short menu in those days. I sat them right here and went back to the kitchen. Sam was at the next table doing a Sudoku and drinking malt liquor, his usual routine at the time. An hour later, I was cleaning up when Sam came bursting in the kitchen. Ida, he said, kind of frantic, these divers are still hungry. Bring them another course. And I said, they already ordered the whole menu. Sam said, make something new. Keep making up dishes, whatever. Just keep bringing out food. So I did until the small hours of the morning. I made up so many new dishes that night, I could write a book. And it was good. Inspired. But I was working so hot and fast at the burning edge of inspiration, I didn't think to write any of it down. So I was so wrecked with exhaustion that next day, I knew I couldn't remember what all I'd done in the kitchen. Sam thought we could take a photograph of the leftovers, but we couldn't get the lighting right. So we just shellacked the whole table. Now when I need inspiration for the menu, I come and look here and think about all those ingenious dishes I threw together for those divers. Of course, they didn't pay their full bill. I heard one of them complaining to the other, let's just pay half and then let them charge the other half to whatever demon in the kitchen kept making up food faster than we could ask for it. But it all worked out. Things have really turned around since then. This place is actually pretty popular now. The success in our expanded menu inspired Sam too. He started bringing back the most magnificent ingredients from his nightly dives. I'd better get to work. Stay right here, sweetie, and I'll bring you a treat on my way back out. I love that.
What a weird but phenomenal story.
Yeah.
This whole game. Ooh, Sam's got something wiggly. Well, buddy, I guess you're the catch of the day. The one and the only. So what are you? You look like, well, Some kind of eel, I guess. Kind of a mopey little guy, huh? Yeah, I can see it in your eyes. Smell like sort of buttery. That should just be fine. Skin feels like sandpaper. Huh. Well, she'll figure something out. I think I'll call you...
Snake eel.
Snake eel. Welcome to Salmonitis, the one and only snake eel. I hope you enjoy your stay. I mean, not too much. Have you ever seen a creature like me before? You're pretty far down there. Wouldn't be surprised if I'm the first. Except, there were 2 divers who went before me, long ago. Maybe that was before your time. How old are you anyway, I wonder? They ate here once, back in the bad old days. 2 young guys, could have been brothers maybe. I was over in the corner with my coffee and crossword. Hadn't been able to catch a thing, so I'd have just fried up something frozen. Well, these guys were hungry enough to eat it and asked for more. They did at least as much talking as eating. See, like I said, they were divers, and like I said, they might have been brothers. They had a kind of rivalry going between them or something. Ida was about to write up their check, but I slipped calmly and quietly into the kitchen for a minute and told her to just keep bringing out food. Figured they wouldn't notice, caught up in their boasting as they were, and I wanted to listen. They went back and forth for hours about all the deep and dangerous dives they'd been on, new tunnels they'd discovered, all the weird creatures they'd encountered at the weirdest depths of Lake Lethe. It was like a dance. No, like a boxing match. Each story went deeper than the last. And I listened to every word of it, memorized every description of every tunnel and diving route they discovered. That's my map now, you see. For 15 years, I've been using routes those 2 young divers discussed right there at that table. Yeah, I could write a guidebook to the depths of this lake, but I don't dare. Someone would steal my good diving spots, and then where would we be? See, people come here from all over just to try our daily catch, because they know it's unique. Ain't you proud? Since I can't write any of it down, I just preserved that table where they had their meal so I can look at it to jog my memory. Like, they were eating pickled crab when they talked about that shipwreck full of salamanders. Pretty clever, huh? It's my own secret code. Well, I'll be straight with you, snake eel. There is one feature of this arrangement that I find unsettling. In fact, I lose a decent amount of sleep over it. I told you those boys were competing, right? One-upping each other, I mean. Each getting wilder and more adventurous as they traded tales. Well, I navigate mostly in the dark down there, just by going by touch, and a kind of mental picture I can construct from their detailed boasts. And every time I explore a new diving spot from those recollections, I have to weigh it all against the risk that I'm headed right into a dangerous falsehood. One of those men could have felt for a moment like he was losing some ground in their little duel, so he could have slipped a fake one in there. Maybe told a fib about some dive he went on and found a colony of blind shrimp living in a discarded refrigerator. And when I get down there, my diving bell cracks open on a sharp rock where he said the fridge would be. And that's the end of Sam of Salmonitis. To be honest, that possibility puts the fear of death in me every time I touch water.
What a fun couple.
Oof. Hey, Sam. Good haul tonight? We'll see what you can make of it. Yeah, pretty good, I think. Hit some trouble down by the narrow tunnel. Some kind of fast-growing freshwater barnacles just about sealed it up. Picked away for half an hour before it gave up and went around the other way. But I got the catch of the day. That's the important part. That's what people travel for.
What's the catch today?
This here's a snake eel. Mopey, sandpapery old eel. I don't know how she'll fix him, but that sandpapery quality ought to do something for, what do they call it? Mouthfeel. You stay for a drink? Got a dark rum that goes well with coffee.
I think we're about to leave, but thanks.
Just passing through. Hey, aren't we all? She's got your food ready. Y'all enjoy your meal, alright? God damn Kentucky Route Zero.
This shit is fucked up.
It is. Like, even the good, happy stuff is, like, tinged with desperation.
Yeah. Here we go again.
Oh, it's the guitarist on the boat that we didn't interact with.
Many friends and kin have gone on before, and I can feel at home in this
Music in this game is just beautiful. You know, unlike the rest of the game. Fucking hell.
Friend like you, if heaven's not my home, oh Lord, what will I do? Angels beckon me to heaven.
I cannot think of the last time, certainly on this show, but just in general, that I have been so consistently blown away by a game.
Yeah. It does everything I like.
Yup. Bunch of weird, sad shit. But it's so human.
Yeah.
Like, it is not... It's not kind. Like, it's not... This isn't a soft game.
No.
But it's not cruel either. Right? Like, it's not... I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
They have not shied away from hard topics of, like, grief and loss and regret and guilt and just, like, all of the bad things that come with life. But still, we're getting these very human connections that are happening in the midst of grief and loss. And I think there's a big message about all of these people are alone, but they are together in their aloneness.
Yeah.
That feels very human, like seeking human connection and coming together. That is really bittersweet and lovely.
Yeah. Very honest.
Yes, very honest game. Oh. So good. Blue, our baby Blue. Inspector Eye. Well, she needs scritches. She's a lonely girl.
Shannon scratches Blue behind her ear. Oh.
Finds a small twig worked in the hair.
One?
Yeah.
Shannon gently tugs the twig free and tosses it into the lake.
Like those little moments. Why? It's just so heartbreaking.
She returns to the tugboat. Ouch, ouch, ouchie, ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouchity, ouch.
Hurts my heart and my soul.
Oh.
Wow.
Bunch of flotsam. See that? Just looks like a swirling mess of garbage, doesn't it? Well, that's what it is. I don't know why trash seems to be collecting right there of all the spots on the lake. It's always been that way. Everyone just navigates around it like it was an island or something.
I think I see some desks and chairs swirling around on the edge there.
Those all-in-one discs, like they have in schools, if I remember right. It's been a few years since I saw the inside of one. Those must have been washed down from somewhere. I've never known there to be a school on the lake. Well, there was Gemini School of Beauty. It was run by sisters Cassie and Paula, indistinguishable except for their haircuts. but I wouldn't think they'd have used desks like that. We used to stop there almost every night, let someone off for a cheap haircut. Student stylists, you know. They spared many a sailor the pain of a botched do-it-yourself do. But I guess they got in deep to the power company. Those blow dryers and curling irons burn a lot of coal. It's a shame they had to close down. The haircuts are gone, but the hair keeps growing. Yeah, this cluttered place makes a decent local museum. It's as good a history as I could ever tell. We arrived at a small houseboat neighborhood that sometimes hosted concerts for the pleasure of its residents, where Clara was scheduled that night to perform. Junebug and Johnny watched the show from the dockyard with the others. Act 4, Scene 9. Weird to not have a choice there.
Yeah.
A neighborhood. Oh. I remember this.
I told you so.
Yeah, you don't have to say it.
Only because it's always true.
She played at the flower shop. Cyrano opened. He was having trouble with his tape machine, so he just droned out on the lap steel. He got really into it, and he went for, like, forever. Everyone was falling asleep.
Not everyone.
I remember I think this is you.
I remember the air was warm, perfumed. You were playing with some petals you found on the floor, and I was looking at the ceiling. I remember the ceiling was glass. During the week, that room was a greenhouse. I don't know where they put all the plants when they had bands in. Maybe outside if the weather was nice. It was nice that night. Warm. Smelled like spring. I remember the folding chairs, so uncomfortable. But I guess it was their only option. They had to pack everything up during the week, so there'd be room to display the flowers. Wow, look at Ezra. He's wrapped.
Yeah, he's really into it. So, we were talking about him earlier at the gas station.
Sure. I haven't forgotten, Cricket.
Cool, yeah. I know. Any, what do you think about Ezra traveling with us for a while?
We were in the back, passing messages in code. We used a code of our own design, inscrutable to observers, transmitted by taps on the wrist. You told me a joke. It was the one about the prisoners exchanging dirty moonshine recipes. I told you the one about the 3 bears in the outhouse. And you told me the one about the dentist with the rude prosthetic. We had to leave the room. If I sound hesitant or something, it's just... When we met, we were nothing. Just these little gray shadows. And we grew and filled in, and we did all that together. Ezra, sure, he's just a kid, but he's already a person. What would that do to our system? Our chemistry? We stepped outside into the warm night air. There was a horse tied up in the parking lot. Whose horse could that have been? Did somebody come into the show on horseback? Or maybe he belonged to someone in the neighborhood. It was a residential area. We looked around the neighborhood for clues. We wandered between some low houses and came out onto an empty street. Hey, I got the masters for the new record back from Lazar. They're okay, but...
What? You listened to them without me?
You were at the pet shop. I didn't think I could tear you free.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, there are a few spots where the strings distorted a little, and the whole thing has way too much reverb, but overall it sounds pretty good. The new drum machine fits right into the mix.
Nice.
The only question is how to do it live. I can't control the drum machine and sing and dance at the same time, and you've got your hands full of guitar. We stepped into a 24-hour convenience store. I remember the radio was playing some old Patsy Cline, right? Or was it Connie Smith? The clerk was reading one of those conspiracy/celebrity gossip/ Bigfoot sighting newspapers. We bought some of those gummy pomegranate seeds. We made our way back to the greenhouse. We must have taken a shortcut or something, because I don't remember the walk back at all. We got back to the greenhouse just as Clara was tuning up. She relaxed her shoulders, took a deep breath, raised both hands into their precise positions, and the room started shaking. Claire hit a note that made the glass rattle in a sympathy of perfect 2 octaves lower. She looked like a sorceress, tearing down the building with an effortless wave and incredible focus, coaxing the empty air into some kind of moaning, rattling demon. That's the thing about the theremin. It's the only instrument you never touch. You could see a wave of concern propagating through the greenhouse. People looking up at the trembling glass ceiling, looking at each other to see if anyone else was worried, trying to catch Claire's eye and discern if she was doing it on purpose or not, if she were really trying to bury us all in glass. I'm just saying, maybe we could use a third pair of hands up there.
Oh. Oh!
Think you could teach the kid to play the drum machine?
Ma'am, I could teach a dog to play a drum machine.
Well, that'll be our backup plan. It was a tense 5 minutes. We, the audience, alternated between fearing for our lives and lamenting hers that could have given her the kind of emotional experience to play this devastating song. And slowly, gently, Clara's hands came to rest. The theremin went quiet and the glass stopped rattling, and the room relaxed, unharmed.
Met a photographer once. One in particular. She even took my portrait. Can't imagine why. She said it would immortalize me. That was a metaphor, of course. She meant I'd never be forgotten. As she was disembarking, not far from here actually, the film fell out of her bag and was borne away by the current. I was working on deck at the time. She shot me a sad, apologetic glance, but I wasn't bothered. It's no shame to be forgotten. Our passengers, one lighter, disembarked at the mail stop by the silo. They couldn't seem to get that old truck started up again, but we managed to roll it off the barge with only a minor scrape or two. At the last minute, Clara decided to travel with them for a while. Kate and I said goodbye to our friends, new and old, and the mucky mammoth rumbled on down the echo. Act 4, Scene 11. Silo of Late Reflections. Oh. We heard about this on the phone. It's the place
Yeah,
where the
we did.
echoes go forever. Oh. Beautiful shot.
Gorgeous game.
I think Clara was you.
Oh. What's this place like, Dogwood Drive? It's in a small town, or... I really don't know. I've got the manifest the old man had in his truck here. Lisette's Antiques. Mail order delivery. No return address. Shipping address, 5 Dogwood Drive. Packing list. And then it's just numbers. I guess the inventory numbers of the antiques he was supposed to be delivering. Anyway, I'm glad you're coming with us. Yes, I'm always eager to see more of the country, and I enjoy the company. I will have to find a bus or train to get on to Nashville by evening. Well, they have buses everywhere, right? Or hey, I could drive you to Nashville. Seems I have a truck now. Only... how are we going to get it up these stairs? That's quite a staircase. Is there something we could do with rope? Sure. I can think of a few things. Nothing that'll get that truck up the staircase, though. Looks like we're making the rest of this trip on foot. I don't even know what's in there. What if it's too much to carry? Aw, we've been loading and unloading gear since the stars were young. We're our own roadies, right? We've got expertise. All right, Cricket. Let's get this delivery packed and tied into bundles. We're hiking it upstairs.
What's in there? Antiques, I guess. Antiques. Yeah, antiques are... it's like junk, but people pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Sorry. I guess you'll be taking the bus after all. It's okay. It'll be an adventure.
Shannon sighs and stretches.
Tired? Don't worry, lady. We're almost there.
There's a cat there. Blue.
Hello?
Hello? End of Act 4.
Oh! Oh my god!
Pueblo de nada. All right, we have an interlude and another act. These ending acts are huge, though.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
These are so good.
Oh, ouch. How am I supposed to be even remotely normal about this?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
This game is so good. If you're watching this live or on YouTube, go get this game. Get it. Play it.
Get it.
When you need to just like feel every single feeling known to human existence, just play this game. Just play it real quick. Everyone should play this game.
I agree. I totally agree.
They should play this game in schools. I don't care.
Agree.
Everyone. Anyway, more of this next week. Bye, bitches.
Bye, bitches.